Okay, so do we have live questions? Do we have anyone? A lot, amazing. Okay, so we have, let me just ask Barrister Okwe this one question. Okay, so the question says, after getting your deed of assignment, you are meant to go to the state land registry, right? So whose job is it to get it registered? I'm not sure what, do you understand, ma? Okay, so whose job is it to get it registered?
Okay, I guess the question is to ask who helps with the process, right? Of course, your lawyer is the job of your lawyer to help you go through the process of filing for consent or the C of O, as the case may be.
Thank you very much, ma. Okay, Barrister Blessing. If the government wants to take someone's land, what titles do you need to have before you can get a compensation? So I don't know if this person is asking from the perspective of a real estate person or from the perspective of a buyer of land.
Okay. You remember we mentioned that you have to perfect your title to your land. So whatever title you have, just make sure that it's registered with them, because it's what they have in their records that they will use to compensate you if at all the government wants to acquire your land from you. Like, for example, if your title is not perfected, that is not registered with the land registry, and then the government wants to claim the land back, you don't have any say, you don't have any proof that the land is yours for them to actually compensate you. So if you have a C of O, you have the deed of assignment or whatever, a gazette or whatever it is, just make sure that it's registered and your name is on it. You have perfected. That's why I said it is important you perfect your legal title to whatever property you buy.
Thank you. Do you want to add? Okay, amazing. Please, let's put our hands together for our panelists. Thank you. Okay, so let's do some live questions. Okay, so we would have him as number 1. Mr. Adami number 2. Sister Charity number 3. Josephine number 4. So let's do 4 first, and then we would. Or should we just take the numbers down? Number 4, who is 5? 5, 6, 7 behind him. Okay, and 8. C'est fini. So let's take number 1 first. 1 minute, please.
Good morning, everyone. My question goes to Barrister Opeyemi. I want to thank you for your insight on the land titles. There's this common title that is very profound in the Lekki houses, which is government allocation. I would like you to throw more light on that. Thank you.
Government allocation. From the word, it means that the government. No, from what I understand, probably it's not government acquisition. Is that what you're saying? Government allocation. That the government allocated it to them, then it's probably excision. If government has allocated, then it is excision. So where they got the word government allocation from is what I don't understand. So it's either they have excision, gazette, or yeah, and that's about it.
Okay. Did she answer your question? Right. Okay. So, Mr. Dami.
Good morning. Okay. My question goes on the CFO. So, how many years should remain before someone should renew the CFO? For example, if you want to buy a CFO, a property that have a CFO, and then after you have checked, so because you are not going to wait until it's expired before. So how many years should you start the process?
Okay, once you start getting close to the time, you probably have a year left, 2 years left, and you should start talking about renewing your title. So, of course, the process should start.
How long does it last? How long does it
last? 99 years. The CFO does last 99 years.
Good morning, everyone. So I want you to throw more light on global C of O. I heard something like, okay, this environment has global CO, so it covers whatever. So please, I want you to throw more light on that.
Okay. Global CO is for land that was applied, the CO was applied for collectively. Probably different families in a particular communities, they own the land, right? And they need title on that land. Like I said, you get excision, right? Where you don't have excision, you get a global CO, right? We come together, this is my land, this is my land. But they don't do that anymore. That was back in the day. If you want to apply for CO, I think the limit is about 5,000 square meters or thereabouts. Do you understand? But now, then you, of course, you have thousands, hundreds of thousands of size of land where you can apply for global CO. That is where you hear things like global CO. So the family probably has a the families has global CO on that property.
If you acquire land, so you have to go and perfect your own documents.
Definitely.
Okay.
On that one, Ms. Josephine.
Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Josephine Owifo. I actually want to thank the speakers for the wonderful, the way they dealt about the topics. But what my question is about CFO. Now, if as maybe you buy, a family has a land, you said it's freehold, and someone buys, they get the CFO, and they want to resell, they give them the deed of assignment. Are they transferring the CFO to the third owner, or is just going to be just only the CFO for that, just that first person? And anytime anybody's buying from that person, they just keep giving them deed of assignment. I just want to understand.
Okay. For every of the transaction, you get a deed of assignment, and where you get the consent from. Like I said, deed of assignment transfers remaining years in your CFO. So if you have a property of about 80 years, okay, let's say 50 years left, right? And Mr. B comes to you to buy from you, right? He will prepare a deed of assignment. The CFO is in your name, not in his name. So he needs to go ahead, prepare a deed of assignment, and get consent on that deed of assignment. That is when it belongs to him or her. I don't know if you understand to that extent. All right.
Okay. This man here. Okay, he's standing.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Sorry, please, she wants to add to the last question.
Yes, and in addition to what he said, once the buyer gets assignment, I believe he can go ahead to renew his own lease on the land. That's renew his CFO, he or she's CFO. You have to renew it. You know, it's for a term of 99 years. And then you bought the land, and then you have a residue of, say, 10 years left. If you don't renew it at the expiration of that 10 years, regardless of your deed of assignment, the government can still clamp down on it. And yes, apart from that, you need to renew it. It's part of, perfecting your title. Yes, you're renewing of. Sorry, please.
Okay, before you ask a question, I want to understand your question to an extent. Probably you have 2 plots of land, or you have CFO on 2 plots of land, and Mr. B buys a plot from you. Is that what you are going to? Okay, you have CFO that covers the 2 plots, but Mr. B comes and buys the second plot. When he does buy the second plot, you prepare a deed of assignment. Now, that is where the survey comes in. You prepare a survey covering 1 plot for him. And that's what he would take down to land registry to perfect his own title. He's going to perfect title based on the size he has bought from you and not on all your own property. Is that clear?
So, thank you. I have few questions, 2 or 3. When Barrister Blessing was speaking to us earlier, she said there is a part of Lekki Expressway that is government acquisition on the right-hand side. So I want you to just be specific about the right hand, which of the... Okay. This side, to going to Ajah, this side.
Going to Aja on the right.
Going to Ajah on the right side. Okay. So 2, okay. I'm asking for a property for my family, my grandpa. I just want you to, for clarification. It happens that in a state, not Lagos. So I want you to just advise what to do. At the point, I happened to do my COS some years back at the Office of the Surveyor General in a state in Nigeria. So I checked for the land the property there's house on it already, as a registered survey, so-called registered survey. So I worked I served at the archive in that state. So I checked for the survey plan. It's not there. So, and there was a dispute already earlier. The one made me to do that research was that there was a dispute whereby someone came in and carved out a particular land out of there and sold it. So what do you advise my family so that they are living on it? There is a house building on the land already, but there is a so-called registered survey on the land. So then lastly, a family of mine just acquired a land not in Lagos, the acres of land. So it was given a deed of assignment. So like from your explanation, there must be a CFO before a deed of assignment on a land, right? So he bought from all this family land. So then what was given to him was deed of assignment. So how do the guy proceed from there? Thank you so much.
All right, to your first question, I believe the family land somewhere in Nigeria, right? So you said you have a registered survey, but of course you don't have a title. Like I said, a survey is no title. The fact that you have a survey in your name, registered survey, as mentioned by you, does not make it a registered title. That is no title. It is not your family's land as far as the law is concerned until you have registered your title. So if you have a registered survey in your name, and you even mentioned that you didn't find it, so to say, unfortunately, probably the surveyor just collected your money back there, or your grandfather's money back there and chopped it. He didn't actually do what he was supposed to do, right? So obviously, there's no registered survey. There's no registered. Of course, you have to have a registered survey before you can even walk your title. So you don't have a title on that land. So God help your family, right? And that man goes ahead to register title. He will chase you out of that property. And that is why it is important that you go ahead and register your title as when you should do. Then your second question about buying land from family. So I believe it's a leasehold land. No government acquisition, no accession, no gazette, no nothing, right? But for a freehold land, so to say, a freehold land. Now, as a lawyer, what I do, like I said, deed of assignment only transfer the expiring years. So I don't prepare a deed of assignment for such properties. What I prepare is a sale of land agreement. Now, you can call it a receipt, because some lawyers will say it's just a receipt. Yes, it is just a receipt, but that is the document that you go to land registry to prepare or to file for your C of O. So when you come to me and you have a leasehold, you bought a leasehold land, I'll prepare for you a sale of land agreement that gives you the history of the family you have bought from, right? That gives you the receipt, the consideration and all of that, right, for the property. And then you can go ahead with such document, go to land registry and file for your C of O, but not a deed of assignment. They are two different documents.
Thank you. Please let's put our hands together for the two of them. So we'll take our last two questions, and for this session. Please.
Good morning. My name is Daniel Owe. You cannot blame modern-day lawyers for not knowing the difference between deed of conveyance and deed of agreement. I'm very sure a lot of us today are just knowing that contract of sale suffices to pursue the title from government registry. Because when you sell a property, they feel, okay, where's my contract of sale? The other day they say, where's my deed of assignment? Do you not have both documents? So from what you are saying, a document that does not have a consent or deed of assignment shouldn't carry a deed of assignment, right? So contract of sale suffices.
Okay. After I left the stage earlier, I remember I didn't mention contract of sale. I was expecting somebody to raise a question such as this, and thank you for raising it. Contracts of sale, just like every other contract, is just to drop the transaction between you and I that we want to go into. It's just a document to tell you, oh, I want to buy your property at Majek. Oh, I am interested in buying your property at Majek. I intend to pay you 5 billion naira for the property. Oh, it is okay for me that you pay 5 billion naira for the property. I am going to pay you the 5 billion naira April 30th of this month. Now, I have not paid you, have I? There is no transaction. I am not transferring anything in such document. It is only an agreement between you and I as to the transaction, the contractual obligation of the transaction. I don't know if you understand to an extent. So when you hear contracts of sale, those companies, those developers who understand what contracts of sale is, will give you contracts of sale upon your coming to them that you want to buy a property from them. They will not tell you it is the land title document. No. It is only a transactional document, agreement between two parties. Just like you would do contract any other place. So it is not a title. That was why I did not mention it at all in my slide. It is nothing near title. And like from the question he asked, right, from a leasehold agreement, I will not title my agreement, agreements, contracts of sale. No, I'll mention it, sale of land agreement. It is no longer a contract. It is a sale. We have concluded. He has sold to me. I have bought from him. And it is concluded. So for the purpose of filing my C of O at Alausa, I'll prepare a sale of land agreement, which you will take down to Alausa, and prepare your title, your C of O. Okay. Contract of sale is no title.
Okay. So this is the progression. Contract of sale, land sales agreement, which I cannot take to Alausa. Thank you very much. Now, I'm sure people that perhaps you practice for up to 20 years, it will shock you that people who have practiced for 50 years, they use the same textbooks and references to teach. And that's what they will still use when my grandchild will be in the university to read law. So you cannot really blame modern day lawyers. Now, there's an issue you just raised about global C of O that is making me almost piss in my pants right now. Because I have sold many lands, global C of O. And what you are saying is that it only covers about 500 what?
No. Don't get me right. It doesn't make it wrong. I said recently it has been changed that you are not allowed to do more than 5,000 square meters for a C of O. But back then, people do as much as 10, much more.
Please, how many hectares?
So when you have a large vast of land, you can get a C of O on it back then. You have hectares of land and you get a C of O on it. But now, if for an individual, it's 5,000 square meters, and for a commercial, But I heard recently that this is Nigeria. People still have their way through, if I know the governor, there's a way I can just still get my C of O on the larger, more than the 10,000 square meter if we're to be a company, and more than 5,000 square meter for an individual.
Okay, thank you very much. My sister, who has stage fright like me, you said we should run away from in view. Yes. There's a market I'm about to close. The only reason that we go ahead with it, because it says C of O in view, is the fact that it is being marketed by game changers. Otherwise, I would have stepped down now. You said they were reliable. They are reliable. But because the place, I was there yesterday with the MD of the company, Throughout our over 2 hours of being together, it was yes. Before the end of the year, it is in view, it is in view. So, would you advise I go ahead?
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Sir, you know I have stage fright. You now threw this kind of question at me so that I can just say.
My
The
own
truth
words
of
pass
the
your
matter
own.
is that if game changers are marketing a property that says the C of O is in view, trust me, the C of O is in view. Let me explain something to you. C of O is something that you pursue when you're sure that, okay, this land is free from government acquisition. It's not like freehold that, okay, you're not even sure that the land has been excised yet, and then you want to go ahead, with that. For them to be marketing that property to you, you have I don't know, you don't know me, I'm not yet, but you have my word that indeed the C of O is in view. Okay. So you can go ahead with, I will let Barrister Okpe.
Okay, C of O in view. Like I said, if it's in view, it's in view. It's not your house. Now, C of O is different from excision in view. Now, excision in view it is the government's land originally. Do you understand? If government decides not to give it to you, there is nothing you can do about it. Now, if you're applying for C of O, already it is a freehold land. Or probably it has been excised and gazetted, and the person that wants to sell to you is applied for C of O already, and it's in view. Now, there's this confidence you have already that land, that property already, is free from government acquisition. So if it's in view, then one thing about game changers is the fact that for every developer, I can tell you that the integrity of the company that they work for, right, is in place. They are sure of who they are. They have worked with them, and they know what they deliver. If they say they will deliver this, you can be sure that it will be delivered. So when they sell C of O in view, one, the fact that even if they don't get the C of O, which is not true, they will definitely get that C of O, right? You can be sure that the land is not a government-acquired land. That is why it's fine. But if it is acquisition in view, I will tell you, run. That's number one. Then number two is the fact that, for example, somebody came to me in the course of the week and they want to buy a property. It was actually C of O in view. When you tell me C of O, you will give me your documents. What payment have you made? We'll make research on them and confirm that truly you have applied for C of O, and we'll be able to search and know where exactly the process is, the stage which is in, and be able to affirm and, of course, follow up from there, even as the buyer.
Thank you very much. Can I make another contribution? Somebody talked about location. Well, my family presently has that issue right now. And if I have 2 minutes, let me just contribute. Now, we bought this land. I not say I buy it, now family. Now, it was bought more than 20 years ago from the local indigenes who had excision. But when they marketed the land, they sold both the government side and the side that was originally excised to them, and we had bought. So one day, what they were not doing, every now and then, because they have sold all their interest, they just come to the middle of the farm and cut it and sell it. Now, the people at the farm will not call us. They are developing, Omele came to sell part of the land. We were going to police every day. But thankfully, from nowhere, government just came one day and locked the community down. The place, along here in Lekki, they locked the community down. Even the so-called indigenes, they were locked out of their place. They did not only repossess the land, they did very high walls to cover the place that belonged to them. And when they saw that we had such a large expanse, some hectares of land, they were interested. They knew we could not have had that development without certain documents backing us. They didn't even talk to us. After they had finished the action, they now came into the property and they asked, how did this property come into your... We explained everything, and they confirmed that that family's name, was among the family the land was excised to. They now told us, okay, you have done well. But unfortunately, half of your land belongs to government. But if you are willing, what that is it ratification they call it? Yes, if you are willing, because this land is still free. It has not been allocated for any project. If you can pay for, they told us some ridiculous amount. If you can pay that off record, we will quickly advise you pay that and now start the process of ratification and allocation, which we now paid for. After that payment was done, they came from, is it NTDC, Newtown Development Council, with the Surveyor General of Lagos State to take the new parameters, and they now gave us a letter of allocation to show that the land no longer belongs to those people in the village, but now belong to us. So we now deal with government. Even at that, I want to ask, how safe are we? Can we call that a veritable title at that level? Yes.
Government has ratified. It's called regularization or ratification.
Okay.
So it has been ratified, it has been regularized by government, and it's now yours. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's jam our hands together for our panelists and people that ask questions. Unfortunately, we cannot take any more questions. Mr. Daniel took up to like 5 people's slots. Please, let's jam our hands together for them once again as they leave the stage. Thank you, Barrister Blessing. Thank you, Barrister Opeyemi.